Hey guys, this is Dinosaur Drawer, and this is the second part on how to draw the Pachyrhinosaurus. So I accidentally lost my reference photo, so I'll have to do the lighting and everything just from my head and experience. So I hope it will go well, and if not, it doesn't have to be completely right. You just have to find the muscles and kind of get everything into place. So on my reference photo, the light source was coming from this side, which would mean that this area would be very dark. So I'm not sure about drawing it in very dark, but yeah, it's gonna be quite hard to actually get it right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start drawing some lines going inward like this, and also over here as well. Kind of a couple of those. Well, actually, this line is supposed to be underneath this bump over here. So this line will be over there. And then, of course, there's going to be a lot of shadow over here because of this area here. And then just a little bit of shadow here and there. And then there's going to be a lot of shadow over here as well. Let's say the lighting just really briefly comes through this hole over there. So let's look at the path that the light would have to take. Kind of goes like this and like this. Maybe a little bit more like this even. So this is going to be very hard, and I might actually mess up the drawing completely. Just draw a lot of those shadowy areas up here. But make sure you leave some areas highlighted. And also over here. But I don't wanna touch those scales too much. So I'm just gonna shadow it in underneath. And there would be a lot of shadow over here. So this area of his horn would be very dark, as well as the under area over here. Kind of something like this. And there are supposed to be small little holes on each side, so I'm just gonna draw in a little bit of that and do a little bit of shadow in it. So I am really not sure how to do the shadowing in this drawing, so I'm just gonna do it my own way and hope it will turn out alright. So this is really hard for me. And this is basically going to be all shadowed. And over here as well. But let's just say that there's a little bit more light at the at those areas, so I'm just gonna try and do a little bit of cross hatch lines over here. And hope that it will turn out alright. Because this is just really dark. And over here as well. I'm really scared that I'm gonna ruin the whole drawing, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna erase all this before it's too late. I would say it's already too late, but I can still kind of erase some areas of it. I don't want to get it to I don't want to get to the point of no return where we almost are, so alright, just draw it again. I am glad we have an eraser. Just go over those scales again. I'll just be drawing the light source from a different direction. More like going from above, going down. So you have different kind of shadow textures like this. And then we have this hole which should be a little larger. More a bit like that. Or we could even just do something with it, and there's going to be a lot more shadow over here. But because the light source is coming from up going down, we have a lot more highlights than we would have shadow. And then there would be a lot of shadow underneath this, kind of going like this, and also a lot of shadow over here. And over here as well. This line kind of goes on till there. So I almost messed up the whole drawing, but I can kind of still save it. So that's why you never go too dark. It might seem very dark, but I can go a lot darker with this pencil. Alright, so now I want to draw a couple of those. And there's actually supposed to be a lot more shadow underneath than on top of it, so that's why I'm trying to draw it like this. And over here there would be a little bit more shadow than at the other areas. Underneath those eyebrows there would be a lot more shadow. Make sure you don't go over the eye. And then there would be a bit of shadow over here for the couple of wrinkles everywhere. Don't go too overboard at that area. now for his mouth we have this kind of beak, kind of goes like this. Just gonna make it very dark so you can clearly see that line, and then this one kind of goes like this. And then of course you would have a lot of shadow over here, and also underneath this area over here that would be very dark as well. Alright, so we wasted a lot of time on doing only that area over there, I mean his head area. Oh, and by the way, we still need to do a couple of more details over here. So what could we do is just darken in a couple of lines, make the lines darker, go like that are underneath everything. So I mean with the sun above, we have a lot more shadow underneath every object, or in this case the horns and the shapes, skulls and everything. So you'd kind of draw it in like that, and you can try and make a couple of wrinkly lines going over here maybe to still give it kind of a texture, a textury look, and it doesn't look as blank. Alright, so now we do need to do a little bit of cross hatching lines. So just kind of try and copy what I'm doing. Yeah, this video might be 3 parts again, because we already wasted too much time on doing the head, which is kind of a shame. We would have a little bit more shadow over here as well, so we can just get a little bit more those cross hatching lines up there, kind of going like this. And I would say that this would be about okay for his head. And now we can go into the rest of his body. So now we wanna oh, by the way, we still need a line that goes from his hip to his leg over there, and this line would go a little bit more like this. Alright, so now we need to figure out where there's gonna be the most shadow. So for example, the sun is over here, so half of this whole body will be blocking the light at some areas. So we need to pay attention where those areas are. So there's going to be an area right about over here, and this kind of goes down like this. So that means that this whole area will be dark, except for a little highlight over here, which we're gonna leave white. So we're gonna make this whole area very dark. Well, I'm just gonna skip to that part because you know what I'm gonna do, and I don't really have much to say about that, so I'll be back. Okay, so I'm back. Now we need to have a little bit of shadow over here, so just darkening that in. And of course we need shadow in the tail. So first I want to draw in the muscle for his tail. Goes like this. And then we still want to kind of leave a highlight over there, so we're not gonna go over that area, just leave a white line over there. So I might be able to just draw that in right now like this, and over here as well. And now we want to have a line like this, which we are going to darken a bit. Alright, and now we're gonna go over that line and make it very dark as well. So it's gonna look something like this. Now we want to have a little bit more shadow over here because I'm not really happy with the way that the shadow over here looks, because it's a little bit too light, and it's not supposed to be this light over here. So just gonna leave a couple of lighter areas, and I want to have a lot of shadow over here as well. And just a little bit more shadow over here in general. Now I also want to have this area shadowed as well, because we have a lot of wrinkles and a lot of lines that kind of go from the nose area, and we can well, we do need a little bit of shadow over here to kind of clearly indicate the line where this kind of horny bit is. Well, I mean not horn, sorry, yeah, it's a, well, bony kind of thing. And then we have a lot of scales kind of going like this. And just place them everywhere. Now we need to draw in the muscles for the arms. So there are a couple of muscles going like this. And we have a lot of shadow over there, a bit of shadow over here, and of course between those toes as well. And now we need to kind of get the idea to where there's gonna be more shadow on his muscle, or muscles, I would say. And then there would be a muscle over here. And this would be very dark, but I do want to leave those highlights there. And up here we have a lot of light and everything. And there's a lot of shadow underneath this leg, kind of going up. And then we have the nails on his feet or on his hands. I'm not sure if these are hands or just feet. I'm not sure what to call them or anything. So something like this. Same goes for this one. Just have a very big muscle over here. Then we have a muscle that kind of goes like this, and one that goes like this. But over here it's just gonna be very, very dark. It's just gonna be extremely dark. Just want to keep just those tiny little highlights there, and over here there's gonna be a lot more light. So yeah, it's actually pretty hard to do this when you are when you have a time limit like what I have right now. So there's gonna be one muscle over here and one over there, and this one is going to be very dark at this area, but then this one will have a lot more light on it, but it will have well, no, it's just gonna be very light. Then we have a little bit more shadow underneath here, and also over here it will be very dark. And then these shadowy lines can go up a little more, and this is more rounded like this. And there we have the one claw. And there's gonna be shadow between the toes, of course. And the other one is also there. So now it's time for his hind legs. And basically we're gonna draw in the muscles. Like first we're gonna draw in the knee. So just draw in two ovally shaped things over here, and you draw a muscle like this, and then you draw a muscle like this, or even like this. Then this muscle goes like this, and then we have a muscle over here, the calf muscle, more like this. And over here it's just going to be very dark. So this muscle will be like this. And then kind of going into his knee, a little bit of shadow in his knees. And then this area is just very dark, as well as this area. And just a tiny bit of shadow over there. And this is also going to be very dark over here. As well as over there. And then we have this muscle actually going further down. And the toes kind of connecting to the muscles. Then we have those big nails on them. Shadow between the toes as well. So it's basically starting to come along quite well. Looks quite nice for now. And there is supposed to be a little bit more shadow over there. So that looks pretty good. Now we have, let's see, this muscle over here and this calf muscle over there. And this muscle will be very light, so it's only going to be a lot of shadow over here. But then we have a rounded object over there that's going to be his ankle, kind of going through. There's a lot of shadow coming from over there, going over this area as well, doing something like this. And then there's a lot of shadow over here. And underneath his toes as well. We have the claws, let's draw them in like this. And of course shadow between the toes. And maybe a little bit of shadow over there. And this area is supposed to be a little bit darker as well, because it's more underneath the dinosaur, so it's gonna have a little bit more shadow. So now all we have to do is we could just get in a couple of more details everywhere. Just a couple of these. And we also have to do some cross hatch lining, so let's just finish everything off. Well, I'm not going to do the detail, because I know that if I will try to do the detail, I won't have enough time. So yeah, you can kind of get a couple of scales in if you want, if you feel like it, and if you think your drawing is gonna look better because of it. But I simply don't have the time for that. So just do what you want with it. And also over here, of course, we also need some cross hatch lining. Alright. And there's gonna be a lot more shadow over here, by the way. And a lot more shadow over here as well. Alright. So now we basically need to go with the shape of the dinosaur's muscles to kind of try and get it right. Something like that, and try and do the same over here as well. And maybe a couple of them over here. So yeah, I'll skip to the part where I have done everything like this. Alright, so I'm done with the cross hatching lines, and the only thing we still need to do is put in his eye, like so. So yeah, the drawing is about finished, and I'm really sorry that we didn't really have enough time to show you everything I did, but at the same time I'm kind of glad that I skipped those parts, because I'm pretty sure that most of the people that watch my videos skip through those parts just because they find it boring, because I don't talk a lot and everything. So yeah, but the drawing is about finished, and if you liked the video, leave a like, comment below what you think about the video and the drawing in general, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss a single video. So this was Dinosaur Drawer, and goodbye.